Hey guys, what's up? It's Daz. I'm here with my boy Petzergling. We are doing the 5th game, the final game of MSL Group C. This is a game between Fantasy and Tempest. Fantasy having, what was it? He lost to, who did he lose to in the first game? I'm sorry, I forgot already. Either way, he lost
Tempest.
in the first. Yeah, okay, sorry. No, he beat Tempest in the winners game, in the losers game. No,
He played Tempest in the first game, and then he
Tempest.
lost to
Okay,
Jangby. So he's 1-1
Okay,
TVP so far.
Okay,
Super
yeah,
brain
it's
fart.
been a late night. It's a little late, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, my brain just farted. Fucking smells bad in here. That's how bad the brain fart was. Yeah, actually, Tempest and Fantasy having played each other in the second game, and Fantasy having beaten him in a long game, but basically crushed him in the mid game with some crazy harassment. Looks like the game's already starting out pretty quick here, so I'm just gonna sync it up here. 2, 1, 0. Yeah, these guys having a pretty crazy game in the second game. Fantasy totally dominating once the mid game started though, with massive harassment, and then since then, Fantasy getting demolished by Jangby to get here, and Tempest actually playing really well against Iris. Yeah, it looks like he's doing some kind of proxy here. You know what, to tell you the truth, I'm not
Protoss
surprised.
is so
We've
gay.
said all kinds of crazy shit. Like, we've just seen the craziest things. Hey, maybe Fantasy will do a forward barracks, who knows? I mean,
Maybe he might go for that again.
maybe this is just a forward gateway, and he's not really gonna proxy anything. He's just
Yeah,
gonna fucking
and then after the gateway, he's gonna build a couple
Zealots.
Zeals, and then lift the gateway, and then use it to come. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, I guess this really seals our opinion. I mean, we saw the very first PvT played on this map, and we've seen some excellent ZVPs, and I think a couple TVTs on this map, but the first PvT we saw was Stork versus Gogo, and Stork being one of the best PvT players, and Gogo being not. Stork pretty much crushed Gogo early on with an early proxy, and you know that was kind of almost expected just on the caliber that Stork plays. There's no reason he should even try and play this out, but seeing Tempest play against Fantasy, which I wouldn't consider Tempest a huge underdog to the need to proxy, but I mean, the way the map is designed, you know, I'm starting to say that this is going to be a real heavy proxy map. I mean, this might be, past the level that Blue Storm was right when it came out, when every single fucking Protoss built a stupid gateway. And there's the double gate proxy. So, I mean, this is the exact same build that Stork did against Gogo. So, I don't see any way that Fantasy's going to be able to hold this off, especially with this forward barracks. He's going to be forced to pull an SCV, and he might even lose that SCV, and now he's going to take even... God, Protoss is so gay.
Oh, I love it. I love what he's doing here. Not that I'm a huge fan of cheesing, but like, I love the probe harass. And it is such a proxy heavy map. I mean, it's such a perfect map for proxy gating. I think Fantasy should expect this. They should build his barracks closer in, maybe get an earlier racks, get a good sim city so that if you suspect it, you can just get a bunker up immediately and hold your base that way. But like at this point, like this, it's too late. Like it's double Zealot proxy gate. I mean, there's almost no way.
How is he going to defend
holding this without taking? Yeah, there's almost
nothing.
He
doesn't have any sort of base structure. Why didn't he?
He doesn't even have a marine yet. I have no idea. Like I mean, as gay as it is a proxy gate, Fantasy brought this on himself. I mean, it's just such a proxy favored map. I mean, and we can just see it just from the fact that both of the first two PvT games we see on this map are both proxies, and I'm willing to bet the next one will be too. For some reason, Fantasy decided to build a factory with the SCV that was had HP in the red. This factory is just not going to get up for a million years. Already, there's more Zealots than there is Marines in the base of Fantasy. And just losing SCVs constantly. I mean, this is pretty much no way that Fantasy's winning this game. I guess that was pretty gay by Tempest, but like, I mean, you gotta expect something like that.
Yeah, no,
you can't just be completely caught off guard. As gay as it is, it's not unbeatable, and you have to kind of have better game sense. I mean, you have to realize what people are gonna do on a map.
And one problem that Gogo had against Stork is Gogo really, there was no way he could have built a really good Sim City. I mean, he was kind of fucked. But I mean, Fantasy, having the minerals on the left side of your map, or the left side of your command center, at least gives you a benefit. And actually, the factory finishes by some act of God. Fantasy actually has a factory up, but I mean, I'm pretty sure if Tempest hasn't started his assimilator. He's gonna get his assimilator up and running pretty soon, and I don't. Now he's producing a vulture. Yeah. So, but Fantasy can just build his barracks right next to his command center, and then use that to micro against the zealots, and he wouldn't have needed to lose so many SCVs. But why is he full?
It's gonna
what is he
down
doing?
At this rate.
He's building a fort.
I guess he didn't want it to die right away. I mean, he had to float it. So.
What is he doing?
Oh my god. At least, okay, Tempest had the sense to build.
He's an elite when he scouts the cannon. He's fucking
for
fucked.
Sure. There's no way. You know, I just want to throw this out there as a general kind of heads-up tip to Protoss players out there. You're probably going to hate me for doing this, but if you plan on...
No, yeah, you can just stop right now. Bunker rush.
I got to get this out of here. If you're going to do some kind of cheese, like maybe an early DT or a proxy gate where your tech is going to be behind, or you're not going to have a lot of Dragoons, it's a really great idea to get a forge, even off one base, and just build one cannon. Like, it's just such a game saver, and I rarely see Protosses do it, and it can make a huge difference, especially if you're going to be a big fag like me and just DT rush your way through D on iCup. Absolutely, get a forge and put a cannon in the mineral line like that. That's right now saving this game. I mean, what a this bunker rush has been going on, and it's been a really great play by Fantasy, and it would have ended the game if he hadn't have built that cannon up. It's still a really good play, and he's doing a lot of damage here. I mean, he killed so many probes of Tempest, but as soon as Tempest gets his army of like 8 sea lots down here, there's no way that bunker's going to survive. Although he is target firing the Nexus, it's not going to go down in time. Really nice try by Fantasy. I can see why he didn't leave the game. It's just too little too late.
No!
It's just too many units. Yeah, I mean, what a crazy game. I don't even know why he's sending his probes here. He totally doesn't need it.
Didn't even lose a single zealot.
GG. No, I mean, just too many units.
Man, the commentators are freaking out. That was a lame-ass game. I'm sorry, that was lame.
Maybe they got excited by Tempest's little attempt there, although I don't know. It was pretty easy for me to tell that wasn't going anywhere right from the get-go, but it was a nice try, I guess. Poor Fantasy. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy.
Just like you said, he had it coming on himself. What was he doing? Why did he, like... He must have had something in mind. I mean, that happens a lot when you get, especially in a match like this, a final match in a 5-game group where, you know, you're forced to play a third match, but you have a chance at getting out of the group, and you're playing against a player you think you can beat, and you kind of, especially Fantasy, a technical player who has all these builds mapped out in his head, and you don't always play, you know, if you keep in mind that, okay, I think my opponent's going to do this, and I'm going to plan out this, but I mean, I guess he just didn't keep that into consideration, and he didn't plan his build around countering a proxy rush. But I have to imagine that every other Protoss is going to think about doing that. But one thing to point out too is that, you know, to say this is a proxy favorite map, I guess, is a little bit unfair, because on almost every single 1v1 map that's brand new, you see players go for cheesy strategies just because they're just so much more effective, because you don't always have the intricacies of the map worked out. You don't know exactly what you can do at all points in the game, especially the game 5 on Carthage, where although this would be an important game, I don't think players practice on this map nearly as much, considering they may have not even got to the stage if they could beat the previous two games. So I mean, a fair move. I think a fair move from Tempest. I think Fantasy definitely wasn't prepared for it, but kind of an unfortunate ending to what could have been a pretty epic rematch.
할 말이 없습니다. 그렇습니다. 완벽하게 유닛 다 막혔죠. 결국 왼쪽에 이제 왼쪽에 서대문 생기고 오른쪽에 동대문 생기고 나머지 이제 센터를 가로질러서 다리를 넘어가야 되는데 그 다리 쪽에는 이미 테란이 철의 장봉으로 진을 치고 있었던 상황인데다가 EMP를 맞고 시작을 했기 때문에 아무것도 지금 안 되는 전체적으로 박지영 선수가 진짜 손발이 꽁꽁 묶인 이런 상황이네요.
박지영 선수는 아마 지금 내가 말씀하신 것처럼 업그레이드 해주면서 희망이 있을 수 있다고 생각도 몰라요. 경기 중에서 봉쇄 당하는 봉쇄 당해가지고 죽는 경우가 많이 있었는데 이렇게 스케일이 큰 봉쇄를 그러니까 저도 전 맵으로 일본에서 그러니까 남북으로 아예 봉쇄가 되어 있어요.
절반을 싹 갈라놓고 상대방이 들어올 수 있는 틈을 한 명만 만들어놓고 거기는 그냥 의도적으로 기다립니다. 네, 그쪽밖에 없으니까요.
정말 정명훈 선수가 지금까지 MSL 타고 있을 거 없잖아요. 한 프리 제대로 하는데요.
네.
어쩔 줄 몰라고 야 이 테이크가
맵도 센터 쪽에서 본진과는
Do you have any final
바꿨습니다.
thoughts?
야
I could talk for hours.
예, 정면으로 지금 붙어도 싸움이 안 되기 때문에 리콜밖에는 없는데 아마 커맨 센터 약간 두드리고 수준밖에는 안 된다라는 것이 지금 박재영 선수의 수준이 그만큼 어렵다라는 겁니다. 그렇죠. 네, 3개 남았어요.
봤어요.
승리를 하려면 팩토리를 장악을 해가지고 아예 팩토리 병력이 나오지 못하게 만들어줘야 되는
자 여기 보스 나오는 거 보긴 봤는데 참격으로 털어서
Flash, Washing,
사이로는 안 달리고 보니까 락다운으로 이제
every single game. I mean, hopefully it doesn't turn into a huge clusterfuck where J-Dog straight away. But, you know, I hope J-Dog can get in there and we see some excellent TVTs with, you know, some TVT mixed in there. You know, it's a shame that we couldn't have, like, Stork or something in there just to see, you know, every single